Hello, everybody. It is Trisha Lee, and I just want to thank you for joining us tonight on our hangout for Disruptive Technology. We are up to part 22, and today we are talking about a topic that is near and dear to my heart, something that all of us use on a daily basis, and probably some of us don't even think about all the places that we use such things. But I remember when I was a little kid growing up, at some point, I might have been around 10, under the Christmas tree, along with our new games and toys, was battery charger with some fresh new rechargeable batteries. And at that time, I don't know that, well, I do know a couple other places that rechargeable batteries were used. However, at that time it was all AAAs, AA's, and C and D batteries was in the set of rechargeable batteries that came with our games and toys that, of course, needed batteries. So nowadays, we almost all carry a rechargeable battery around with us everywhere that we go in our pockets via our cell phones. Actually, until we started looking at this hangout, I didn't realize that all our laptops, all our cell phones, all our iPods, iPads, electronic devices have rechargeable batteries inside. And I'm like, I kind of knew that, but I didn't really make the connection, because obviously when you plug your charger into the wall, you're charging a battery, but a lot of times you don't think about that, oh, that's actually a rechargeable battery in there. Kind of like the ones that when I was a kid, that you had to load into this thing that plugged into the wall. So similar concept, and I think some phones even have removable batteries where you can charge them outside of the phone. Not too sure about that. But also I know that for a long time rechargeable batteries have been used in small vehicles like scooters and golf carts and different, I'm sure Segways use rechargeable batteries. And actually Larry is going to be doing a lot of the talking on this hangout, because it's kind of a bit of a technical subject and it's not very near or dear to my heart, although I do use rechargeable batteries almost, or for sure, every single day. For sure, I use them every single day. I really don't know that much about them or how they work. I just know that I really appreciate them and like them a lot. So Larry, can you talk to everybody a little bit about the things that you know about rechargeable batteries and how they are evolving and have evolved as a disruptive technology?
Sure. Well, pretty much the rechargeable battery has replaced well, I shouldn't say replaced, but it's disrupted the alkaline battery industry. So when we think of rechargeable batteries, most people think of battery packs and things like everything your D cell, C cell, AAA, AA batteries they can all be recharged now. And so these types of batteries haven't been around for a really long time. They've been around a short time, and they're pretty doggone good batteries. I use the AAAs in my MP3 player, which I have audiobooks on. That's how I'm learning all this crazy stuff I'm learning. So I keep one in well, I don't have one in here right now, and the sucker's on for some reason. But because we run the recycling business, we actually get a lot of alkaline batteries that are not even dead yet. People throw away alkaline batteries that aren't even dead yet. So that's something we do with the recycling business, is we weed through some of these alkaline batteries, because a lot of them still have a pretty excellent charge. And I think that's because people use them in applications where they have four or more batteries, or 2 or more batteries in some sort of appliance, electrical doohickey. And so when it comes to rechargeable batteries, believe it or not, actually people have been known to get rid of rechargeable batteries, thinking that, oh, this unit's kaput or this electronic device is kaput. Throw the whole thing in recycling. So we actually have gotten a lot of rechargeable batteries that are perfectly good in with the recycling stuff that we get with the alkaline batteries. It's just people don't know any better. They just think it's a regular battery because it came with whatever product they bought off the shelf. So we're getting back to the usefulness of rechargeable batteries, especially the AAA batteries and the AA's. I find super common with most electronic gadgets and toys, and they work just as good as the alkaline batteries. The only thing that I've been told by the experts, because I looked into rechargeable batteries quite some time ago, and with what they told me is that when they go dead, they don't go dead slowly. Which is true. They'll show a bit of a charge, like for example on your MP3 player. While it's playing your MP3 player, it'll show you what your battery level's at. I noticed with the alkaline batteries, it goes down and down and down and down with the little battery indicator image. And then at the very near the end, it goes down to kind of a red area, which is saying that this battery is about to die on you. Then it gives you a low battery message. And then after that, it's toast. With rechargeable batteries, however, I've noticed that they'll be showing a good charge for a number of days where you don't see a gradual decrease in energy with these rechargeable batteries. It's just they stay about the three from topped up down to maybe just over halfway is what they show, and then boom, they just go dead. They just completely drop their charge. So it's kind of the only, I guess, drawback with rechargeable batteries. Like the life cycle seems very close. Excuse me, to the average rechargeable. However, it's just that they go dead really fast, and we're both yawning. Why is that? It's been one of those long days for us. A lot of business stuff and money and transfers and all this craziness, which is good. But now getting back to this disruptive technology about the batteries, like I said, with rechargeables, it's going to disrupt the alkaline industry, and it already has. I'm sure a lot of if you were to look online and read the numbers, what the numbers are for alkaline cells and rechargeable cells, alkalines probably dropped dramatically, and rechargeables have gone up. And this, getting back to this rechargeable tendency to drop off while it's showing a charge and then just die, that is what turns a lot of people off of rechargeable batteries. And I wasn't sure why. Like, to me, it's not that huge of an inconvenience to, oh well, the battery just goes flat dead while it's showing over half charge still left. Whoop-de-doo, you know, it lasts the same amount of time. Actually, some of these rechargeables, some of the, I wouldn't call them top end, but the better name brand rechargeables work better than some of your real low-grade alkali batteries. So the whole thing about the disruptiveness of rechargeable batteries is it's buyer beware. If you buy good batteries with a good charger, you're going to be laughing. And I think we've been using rechargeable batteries with the business ever since we took over in 2009. So for the recycling business, so that just goes to show you their lifespan is way longer than a lot of people know, and you can't even say that with alkaline batteries. What was that? Was that some kind of spider over your camera? You must be muted. I can't hear you. Anyways,
My
the
kids.
oh, the hello kids. The where was I with the rechargeable batteries? Oh yeah, another thing that's really cool about them is as we go, as we always seem to do in this platform, this Google Hangout. Of course, these rechargeable batteries can be charged with solar power. You don't have to always use your little wall adapter. And so that brings us, of course, to King Sunshine Solar Systems, our business, which is really starting to move now. It's a startup, but we have some really unique technology that we'll be able to use to recharge batteries really easily. We don't use, well, we actually do on our system, our prototype system right now. We are using a rechargeable battery, and it's literally
However, our intention is to replace the batteries with the capacitor. Is that correct? Because it's more efficient and less expensive?
well, it's I wouldn't say it's more efficient. It's just it's more cost effective, and the lifestyle or lifespan of something like a capacitor is a lot longer than it would be for a 12-volt deep cycle battery. It's something we're still researching with our equipment, but for now we are still using the 12-volt battery system, which we keep it charged with the solar charger right now because it's what um, it's what we have available to us. There's a few things that we're still adding to our system, but it's really cool to know that we've got a product that we're bringing to market that can also be used to recharge batteries. And just like a photovoltaic, however, I think we might be able to zap batteries with a higher charge, which actually brings me back to the rechargeable batteries. There's something that a lot of people don't know about rechargeable batteries, and this is another great plus about them in comparison to alkaline batteries. Is the really nice thing about rechargeables is sometimes they'll get a memory and they won't charge or hold their charge as long, and sometimes they won't even charge at all. I noticed that when we received some recycled rechargeable batteries, they look good, but when we put them into the charge, we get this, a warning light saying that this battery is not chargeable, like it would blink rather than stay a certain color. We're of course using this Duracell type charger, which has been reliable for us for several years. And so what my point is, with these rechargeable batteries that do have a problem, I noticed that if you mess around with putting them into the charger, taking them out, popping it into the wall outlet, and just it's almost like you're shocking it by putting it in the wall outlet, pulling it out for 15 seconds, popping it back in, and repeating this procedure, I have been able to rejuvenate some of these recycled batteries that for some reason weren't able to recharge. And we're talking the nickel cadmium. I'm pretty sure the nickel cadmium seem to be the most popular of the smaller cell batteries, like your AAA and your AA.
Speaking of which, I found a whole bunch of different batteries, and I'll just go through the quick list. There's a huge amount of combinations of chemicals that they use in rechargeable batteries, from lead acid, which is what's in your car, alkaline, which you talked about, nickel iron, nickel cadmium, nickel hydrogen, nickel metal hydride, nickel zinc, lithium air, lithium cobalt oxide, lithium ion, polymer or phosphate, lithium sulfur, lithium titanate, never heard of that one, sodium ion thin film lithium, zinc bromide, zinc cerium, vanadium redox, sodium sulfur, molten salt, silver oxide, and quantum battery oxide semiconductor, which sounds really, really cool. So when I read that list, Larry, does that bring up any other places where rechargeable batteries are used besides the typical AAA, AA, C, D type batteries that we recharge?
Yeah, well, the laptops we're using right now are rechargeable batteries. They have lithium ion, and that's the most popular battery that are being used. And getting Tesla Motors back into the picture when they started with their first prototypes before Tesla Motors was even formed, the basics cars, the car that they were designing was a real fast race car. And it was actually, I think it holds the fastest quarter mile record, something like
for an electric car, right?
Yeah, it's an electric car, and they use lithium-ion batteries.
Like fast for all race cars, or just electric race cars?
It's just a really fast. It's a different type of technology than your hydrocarbon burning race car because the drive mechanism is more the transfer. How do they explain it? The transfer of energy from the motor to the tires is just a lot more expensive using batteries. That's why the electric car is faster than any of the hydrocarbon burning or gas fuel burning cars that have crankshafts and pistons in them. Because your crankshaft and pistons, they have a tendency to lag. That's why they're not as fast.
So what kind of batteries does the Tesla cars use?
They just use laptop batteries, a whole bunch of laptop batteries. And the Prius is using a nickel metal hydride. Last I heard, when they came out, the Toyota Prius is using a nickel metal hydride battery, which works pretty much the same as all the other ones. In fact, I think you can get nickel metal hydride batteries for pretty much any kind of battery. I've seen them as small as a AA and AAA battery as well. And it's also good to know that the rechargeable battery is I don't know if they really have to worry about recycling them because they seem to have an endless life from everything I've experienced with them. When you do mistreat them, of course they'll die, and then there has to be special handling of those chemicals on the inside. But no more of a headache than trying to recycle alkaline batteries. Like we get lots of alkaline batteries, and nobody wants to even bother recycling them. So, it's stupid to actually still be using them.
At least when we get the rechargeable batteries, we keep them and use them.
Well, yeah, and we're probably
I know that I have a bunch at my place here that we use for that we get from the recycling. So.
Yeah, and we'll continue to do that. In fact, I think the more that
I'm sure if we had a lot of them, we probably wouldn't have too much trouble giving them away. Which some of the stuff that comes into our recycling, we do actually have trouble giving away, which is as part of the company, there's like a reuse factor where we do collect for a local thrift store to resell some of the items that people donate to the recycling. So yeah, we get all kinds of different stuff, and yeah, definitely the rechargeable batteries. I'm very, very grateful for them because many years ago, before we had the recycle company, I bought them because it just seemed with kids and toys that use so many batteries, it just seemed like a smarter idea to pay the little bit extra and get the rechargeable than to have so many.
Right. Did you want me to keep talking about batteries? Well, as I was saying, the nickel metal hydride batteries are still quite common, and now they've got this lithium lipo battery, which is a super duper lightweight battery that I discovered when I bought a little toy quadcopter. These lipo batteries they use, they're very similar to the NiCad batteries and the lithium ion batteries, except all these different chemicals have chemical structured batteries. They all have different characteristics. And what I learned about the LiPo battery is you don't want to overcharge it no matter what, because it'll burn and melt, and you just give you nothing but problems. So with rechargeable batteries, there is really quite a few different ones. What I discovered when learning about some other models, I can't remember what the heck kind of battery it is. It's like a zinc carbon rechargeable battery. I know there's zinc in it. They call them zinc rechargeables. And I got 4 of them from Japan. And the reason I got them is because I was told that they could actually boost the output of your standard electronic device of whatever you're using. So, for example, if you were using standard alkaline batteries for something, and you switched those batteries to these zinc batteries, you actually got more punch from whatever electronic device you're using these batteries for. And that can be everything from time on your MP3 player to your range for something like a radio-controlled aircraft. It can actually extend the range simply by changing the chemical structure of that battery. And so instead of using a rechargeable or alkaline battery, these zinc batteries are actually perform better, which I thought, man, that's really unusual. I've never heard of anything like that before. And like I said, they're completely a rechargeable battery. However, they got more power output than your best alkaline battery, and they're kind of a little more pricey. But I got mine from China, and basically I learned about them through. I think I heard about them through some kind of blog. So the whole thing about these rechargeable batteries is it's a big world, and there's a lot of innovations coming on right now because of things like our solar technology, being able to provide electrical energy to charge batteries that can be used for electronic devices or backup storage or whatever. You can use it for a lot of different things, and that's, I think, the really cool thing about rechargeables is that we have so many different choices. Like for one size, your AAA battery, I know for sure there's 4 different types of rechargeables that I can get my hands on for that size, and possibly a LiPo battery that would also fall into that category. LiPos are really amazing. The reason why? Do you want to know why, Trish? You want to know why they're so amazing? It's because
which are so amazing?
The LiPo batteries.
Yeah. Why are they so amazing?
They're a lithium polymer, and so they actually are made of plastic. They're a battery that's made out of plastic, and because they're a polymer, it makes them also really lightweight, and that's why they use these types of batteries in lighter than air flying machines. So that could be your quadcopters, your electric planes, solar-powered planes, are all using these LiPo batteries because they're so lightweight. And like, I'm pretty sure I haven't had any problems with the ones I've been using. I haven't been using them a whole lot, but they are quite quite outstanding for what they do. They seem really
I just
small.
wanted to point out, or go ahead.
No, go ahead. I just gotta grab a drink because I'm getting kind of parched.
I just wanted to point out something that I noticed in regards to rechargeable batteries is that people really, really do not like being away from a wall outlet for very long. I've seen it at the airport and the coffee shop and all kinds of places where people are searching for wall outlets to charge their electronic devices, mostly their cell phones. And so a lot of, I noticed actually, because we were, I think we were going to do the hangout somewhere. Maybe it was, I was going to do the hangout, or I had to do something on the internet, and my lithium-ion battery in my laptop was nearly dead, and so we went to, I think, like 3 or 4 different places, and I have the external internet, so it wasn't an issue of finding an internet signal, but it was an issue of finding a wall outlet to plug in my laptop and be able to use it because the battery was dead. And yeah, I think we made like 3 stops looking for a place that had a wall outlet that you could use because so many people, I guess, go into these different franchise kind of restaurants and are plugging in their phones and stuff to charge, that I guess the companies figured that it was costing them money, and so they have, like, it looks like they've removed the wall outlets that, because I'm sure at one place there used to be one, because I had used it before in the past, and yeah, they had renovated to remove it. And then also I noticed, like, at the airports now, a lot of them, when where you're sitting waiting for your flight, they had these huge charging docks where it was just a line of wall outlets that people would plug in to charge their rechargeable batteries in. So yeah, people are very, very attached to their mobile devices, and having access to easily recharge those batteries and be able to use those devices almost everywhere is like a big going concern, to the point that it was costing businesses enough money that they removed wall outlets. So I think that's a little bit of disruption that's gone on there from the kind of change in behavior that humans have had as a result of these amazing batteries. Like, I think the first cell phones that they had were like car phones, and you weren't able to take it away from the car because of the batteries, I believe. And then eventually they had this bag that was like a cell phone that you carried in a bag, and I believe the size of it had to do with the battery. And now they've been able to make these very small batteries that are super effective for these powerful devices. So I was just pointing out that how I see it as a disruptive technology, because it's really, having the access to these rechargeable batteries has really changed kind of the way that we act and some of our behaviors as humans, and our need to have a wall outlet nearby at all times, it seems. Did you have any thoughts on other ways that rechargeable batteries are disruptive as a technology, Larry?
Yeah, I really think that whole thing about the Starbucks and whatnot, if that, I don't know if the renovations are strictly to get rid of their wall outlets, but who knows? I wouldn't be surprised. because when you look at it, how many people, I think when the whole thing with Wi-Fi started out, I didn't really get into it. Like I had my own uh, ISP, so I didn't really go for Wi-Fi. It was only up until recently I started using Wi-Fi because the ISP wasn't working so great because everybody's using bandwidth like crazy. And so I think a lot of places like Starbucks and Tim Hortons and other little places had free Wi-Fi, and they were just getting inundated with people coming in with their laptops, sitting down, having a cup of coffee, and filling up all their tables, and just sitting there with one cup of coffee. And that, as you know, that's not a very good business model to have to provide places for people to sit is not really a good business model for a restaurant. And so I can see that probably happening, and they turfed a lot of the outlets to kill off how many people come in and use Wi-Fi. Probably not so much for the power, but probably because that just too many people coming in to sit and fill up space. Kind of sucks for the company.
Well, I don't know. I think it'll go one way or the other. I think some companies are removing the wall outlets, and then like at the airport, they're putting in big freaking power bars to allow people charging ability. So if it's drawing in a lot of customers that otherwise wouldn't be there, they'll probably continue with the free Wi-Fi and to have outlets. But places like that already have a lot of traffic, they don't want to encourage you to sit there with your stuff plugged in, I guess. I don't know if it's an effort to be like, okay, you can only sit here and use our free Wi-Fi until your battery dies, and then you have to leave and make room for somebody else, or if it's to save money it's probably both, to save money on the cost of electricity, because whenever something's plugged in and using power, well, that's costs money. Like, it's not very much, but over time it adds up, especially with a lot of people using it at one time. So rechargeable batteries are used in so many ways, and I think I'd like to hear if you know a little bit, Larry, about the batteries that they use in these like golf carts, and especially in our community, we see a lot more of the elderly scooters, little motorized wheelchairs for people that have limited mobility. And do you know much about the rechargeable batteries that that equipment uses? I think for some small forklifts use them, maybe.
Well, I know forklifts have wicked batteries. We used to have a forklift where with one of my first companies, and it was an electric doohickey, and it had its own charger, and it had a really big, I believe it was a metal hydride battery on that forklift. And like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of different technologies, so I think you'll find different types of batteries on golf carts. You'll have one golf cart, and then another manufacturer will use a different type of battery for theirs. They're all intended to do the same job, and so if you have one company using, there's different technologies available. I think the same holds true for electric cars. There's electric car manufacturers, like I said, Toyota's Prius has got a metal hydride battery, yet the Tesla S car has got lithium ion.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting topic, because they really do affect our lives in a big way, and I think that maybe at first they didn't really catch on that quickly. Well, I think they did pretty quickly, but I think that we were using them in a lot of other places before we started replacing the alkaline batteries that we were used to using, and so it's been a interesting transition. And what surprises me is that that they even sell the non-rechargeable batteries anymore at all, because they are a hassle to deal with recycling. And yeah, the rechargeable batteries, they virtually last forever, really. Like you said, if you damage them or whatever, then they have to be handled specially. Like, but to me, I just don't understand why people would buy any other batteries besides rechargeables, because to me it's like a no-brainer. Like, you're saving money, you're saving a trip to the store to purchase more batteries, you're saving the environmental issues that chemicals in batteries have when you need to dispose of them. And so I really don't understand why, for use in like toys and games and remote controls and all these different places where we use batteries, that people aren't using more rechargeables. Like, the rechargeable batteries I'm talking about have been around for over 20 years, and it doesn't really make sense that everybody isn't using them, and that the other type of battery that goes dead and becomes virtually garbage, how are those not obsolete?
Well, like, people are creatures of habit. They've been doing one thing one way for so many years. Plus, you got to remember that the rechargeable batteries are more expensive than a lot of alkaline batteries. So when parents go out and buy their kids toys, they're not going to go out and buy a top-of-the-line alkaline battery. They're going to buy, one of the real low-end batteries you get 4 batteries for, what, $2 at like the dollar store. And you're not going to find anything like that for rechargeable battery. I highly doubt that the dollar store even sells rechargeable batteries. But it's like anything else, we're seeing this is a disruptive technology, and what's the basis of a disruptive technology as time goes on? Well, it replaces another technology, just like, it doesn't always replace the technology, but it sure minimizes the popularity of it. So Henry Ford always comes to mind with the car, the automobile, on how it replaced the horse and buggy. Except if you're going to Amish country, they got lots of horse and buggies there, right, Trish? You're muted.
Yeah, we'll find out, I guess. I'm looking forward to that. And I don't know. Hopefully, I'll be able to source out some internet connection there somewhere. It'll be a little bit weird for me, I believe. That it'll be either 8 or 9 o'clock there instead of 10. I'm not too sure. I'll find out when I get there, I guess. I never really made that point, but I guess, yeah, that whole saying is true about save a dime to spend a dollar. So you use your saving in the short term by buying the less expensive non-rechargeable batteries, but in the long term, I can attest that you save a ton of money by using rechargeables. Like, I have batteries that I've used probably 50 to 100 times, if not more, and they still work. Whereas I think in the same amount of time I get 5 uses out of a non-rechargeable battery. I don't know. I guess it's a hassle for some people, I suppose. People are really creatures of convenience as well as habits. So that's the way that goes. So did you have any other comments about the rechargeable batteries in the scooters and golf carts and those devices? Like you said, all different types.
Yeah, different chemistries. There's a lot of different chemistries for those batteries. I think it depends on what brand it is. Like, now, if you talk about a top-of-the-line scooter, they're probably going to be going with a lithium-ion battery, whereas a lower-end scooter will probably be using a cheaper rechargeable battery, possibly nickel metal hydride. See, that's another thing, is with, you gotta, or what did I say? No, not lead acid. If you have lead acid, it's been around forever, and it's a rechargeable battery, I don't think it's it's much of a disruptive technology. Why? Because they're so heavy, and so you can have those batteries in a wheelchair, electric wheelchair, or a scooter. You're probably going to have it'd probably be better because it'll help for a scooter, for example, keep your lower center of gravity. So whereas a golf cart, I don't think they would want to have lead acid batteries in a golf cart. Why? You don't want to be driving around a truck on the greens, right? Drive the greenskeeper absolutely nuts. So they want to keep things pretty lightweight in certain areas. So I'm sure there's probably I'm thinking about the electric scooters would probably be running on, if not a real high performance lithium ion or nickel cadmium or metal hydride, they'd probably be running something like a lead acid, just simply because they're a heavy thing. And that's, it's kind of interesting. Because it's a disruptive technology, we got to remember that what type of chemistry you use for your application, if your weight is a factor as far as giving you more time, I'm not sure what the time or energy output curve is for a lead acid battery compared to a lithium ion. Like, we're using laptops right now, and there's no lithium lead acid battery in these babies, because I had a funny feeling it's not because of the weight. I think it's more to do with the amount of time you get running a lithium ion and how much capacity they have. And like I said, it's not something I researched on the internet because I didn't think we'd be talking about those sort of issues. But it's a really good point you bring up, Trish, because with all the different types of chemistries for rechargeable batteries, that will definitely play a part in a manufacturer's mind on what battery am I going to choose for my product to extend the life, or shorten the life. Like, maybe they don't want their golf cart to run 20 years. Maybe they just want it to be good for 5 years, and then you have to bring it in for service. So it's that planned obsolescence kind of enters the picture as well. And so, personally, my experience with lead acid, out of all the rechargeable batteries, I think the lead acid is a way higher maintenance battery than lithium ion or the zinc rechargeables. And so that's an issue too, right?
Yeah, I was just looking at the lithium polymer batteries, and apparently it says that they're the only batteries that can be made any shape, because apparently other batteries specifically have their shape for a reason. And I wanted to ask you about battery shapes and what you know about the different sizes and why they're called, AA, AAA, C, D, and then the square batteries, what are they, 9 volts or something? Do you know any information about the different sizes and shapes of batteries?
Well, that's a really good point. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. The LiPo battery it's plastic, and so you can mold that sucker to be whatever shape you want. In fact, I think I remember when I was a young man, when that LiPo battery was invented by, I believe it might have been Duracell. And I remember reading this article about how they had come up with a plastic battery, and they said this plastic battery could actually be molded into a kid's toy, so you wouldn't even replace the battery. I don't know if they've done that yet. I think they still have some bugs to work out, because if you think about it, if you make the battery part of the toy and the toy is still in good shape, but your battery dies, like becomes malfunction, then you got to throw the whole toy away. You can't just pop out the battery pack. So that's probably why they haven't changed that. But yeah, with the different AA, AAA, well, you know, the difference between the AAA and the AA is pretty much the same output. However, the AAA is much smaller. And why they went that way is because, well, to sell more batteries, of course, and to also make it smaller so that it could fit into smaller electronic devices. And it really kind of makes you wonder if, like, I think this little BlackBerry phone, I'm pretty sure this is running on a lithium-ion battery. I'm just going to take a quick look to see what it actually runs on, because it kind of makes you wonder.
What kind of makes me wonder is that why wouldn't they just make everything equipped to use the AAAs that are smaller if it's the same output? I didn't know that. It doesn't really make sense to use the AAs at all. Why not just make the battery holding mechanisms designed only for AAAs and make them all smaller? That's kind of weird. But
yeah,
what were
you lithium, that's a lithium-ion battery in there. So that must tell you one thing. If they're using lithium-ion in this, and they're using lithium-ion in our laptops, what do you think that? Why do you think they're doing that? Time.
I don't know. Time?
Time.
What is that?
It means you get.
How long they last?
Yeah. Without.
Oh, okay. So it's how the bigger ones last longer.
Well, no. The lithium-ion batteries are what are in our laptops, and they're in our smartphones. My BlackBerry. Those batteries are in there. The main reason is, I bet you any money that all of these electronic devices, it's the longest lasting battery out there to hold a charge. And don't forget, lithium-ion is the chemical structure battery that they're using in the Tesla cars. And Tesla's got, you know how wicked their mileage is on their EVs, like
so it's
twice.
The best.
I believe it is. I don't think you can get around it. They're the best battery for bang for your buck. And
right.
Now, to answer your question about the sizes of batteries, I really don't know. It's why they continue to manufacture the AAA. I don't even know why they still manufacture the D-cell battery. Those are those big honking ones that you usually put in flashlights. And with the 9-volt battery, why it's square, I really don't know. I know that it's a higher voltage, and so it's designed different. I think the voltage of a D-cell battery is something like 3 volts.
And just to stay on topic here, I don't know that I've ever seen a 9-volt battery that's rechargeable. Have you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. I don't know what you'd use them for. That's the whole thing, is because a 9-volt battery is probably, I know they're used a lot in musical equipment, like there's a lot of guitars that have them in the guitar body for active pickup instruments. They use a 9-volt in your guitar pedals for your effect pedals. Where else? You use 9-volt batteries in your smoke detector. And so it must be, I would imagine it would be a longevity issue. Plus, at 9 volts, I think when you look at it, from a simple point of view, when you've got your smoke detector sitting on your ceiling, you don't want to be going up there and changing the battery all the time. So I think if it had, what would it be, 9 volts, you need like 5 AAA batteries in your smoke detector. And maybe they do have them like that, but most of the smoke detectors I've seen have had a 9-volt battery. Why? Because when that sucker goes off, man, you got to punch the volume of the smoke detector. So that's why you use the 9-volt. I'm pretty sure the 9-volt square battery is probably the highest output for a battery of that size in that category. I'm not a battery expert. We're touching on that. The guy that we worked with solar stuff in the past at Rockies would probably have a lot of answers to these questions.
Well, maybe we can have Rocky join us sometimes. I'm definitely not a battery expert either, but we definitely want to attract some experts to talk about disruptive technologies. So where do you see the future of rechargeable batteries and their role in continuing to disrupt the way that we store our energy required for our daily lives?
Well, I don't even see it as the future anymore. It's the present. A lot of the information I'm getting from PB Magazine now, when it comes to storage, it's all talking about battery storage, batteries for entire grids. And so the rechargeable market or storage market is for your photovoltaics and your wind power. You generate electricity, you got to store it. And you know what's really hilarious about this, Trish, is I can remember talking, I think I was talking to your grandfather about this, and he was telling me about how in the old days the settlers here had windmills and these glass batteries that they used for power. And I'm thinking windmills and glass batteries for power. Isn't that ironic that today, in 2014, it's no longer, well, there's some windmills out there, but everybody seems to be ramping up with this whole photovoltaic thing. I think it's growing a lot faster than windmills. However, the photovoltaics are being used to charge these new fancier batteries that have a hell of a lot more power output. So where do I see the future of rechargeable batteries, man? I think it's just a matter of they're going to get rid of anything that's not rechargeable. There's going to be no market for batteries that cannot be. Keep in mind, nobody recycles them. Nobody collects them to be recycled. They are garbage. And in our recycling company, all we use them for is weight. So the only thing we found that we can do with them in our area, in our region of Canada, is to use them as weights for, counterweights and stuff like that. And it's really, you can use rocks for that, right? But the batteries, it's probably, you have to have them airtight or else they have a tendency to leak. So alkaline batteries are basically a pain in the ass. Nobody even wants them, but people still buy them. So as long as they're available on the market, and keep in mind, Trish, those alkaline batteries still give you that little extra.
No doubt they last longer. They do last longer than the rechargeable ones have to be recharged every probably 4 or 5 hours, whereas a regular battery, I think you can get like double that, if not more. However, it's just garbage and a weight. Are you sure they don't recycle batteries anywhere? Or do they recycle any kind of batteries, like other than the alkaline? I thought they had some kind of recycling for some batteries.
Oh, definitely. Lead acid, yes. Lead acid, it's a really great market for lead acid because there's all that lead in there. which is it's not a precious metal, it's a heavy metal, and they have a lot of uses for lead still. And alkaline batteries, I don't know why alkaline batteries are heavy. It's got to be something to do with the alkali that's in the battery, because I think that's a rather heavy material. But when you take a alkali battery apart, there's not a whole heck of a lot to it, because it's more of a chemical reaction battery that is a one-time deal. So once it's done, it's done. The active ingredients in it are dead, so they can't be revived. So it's unfortunate, but we have been unsuccessful in the past six years trying to find a market for dead alkaline batteries. The good news.
Yeah, maybe some artists could use them to make some cool collages or something. But eventually they'd leak and it'd be toxic art, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. The only thing that someone told me once when I contacted them, I contacted one of the recycling society, might have been the RCA, and they told me the basic process with those alkaline batteries is they shred them up, and then they somehow separate the chemicals from the metal, and so you can recycle the metal and the chemicals. I don't know what the heck they do with them, but it sounds like a real pain in the ass recycle application, almost as fun as styrofoam, you know. They should make alkaline batteries and styrofoam illegal and just find other products that can replace them. And they already have. They already have products to replace that stuff. And they should make oil and gas.
Why won't we change, though, Larry? Why won't we change? Why? Like, I know McDonald's got rid of their styrofoam. Why didn't they just get rid of all of it then? Like, that was a big chunk of it gone, but why not just get rid of all of it? And why, yeah, if there's good rechargeable batteries, like lithium-ion battery, I don't know why aren't they using lithium-ion batteries in toys, like if they're good enough for laptops. I don't understand.
Money.
Yeah, I guess they're still making money selling styrofoam, really.
It's cheaper than borscht.
Yeah.
It's so light, yet so bulky, and that's the problem with trying to recycle it. Like, I had fantasies about, okay, what we can do is we can build a giant blimp using styrofoam because it's so light, and then just send it up in the sky with some motors to direct it in some direction towards a recycle facility. But it's a joke. Like styrofoam, or polystyrene as it's called, the number 6 plastic, is just a big bunch of air. And so they've replaced that using more recyclable friendly plastics, like you've probably seen things that come in little air bags. And they've also got peanuts that are made out of a type of starch, and so they look exactly like styrofoam. And the only way to tell the difference between them is if you put styrofoam in water and one of these starch peanuts, the starch peanut dissolves. It just completely dissolves in water, and it's completely biodegradable. That doesn't happen with styrofoam. So I think eventually we'll get to the point where we say, okay, they'll have to talk to the manufacturers of the polystyrene and say, look, we've got this stuff that is just as good as your polystyrene. It can be recycled, unlike your polystyrene, so stop making it. You know, stop making it, or we're going to fine you. Or here's something else. Use this. Use this. Give us your styrofoam raw materials. Start using this. Because it's not a big deal. It's not a big change in any company's process. It's just that polystyrene is dirt cheap. It's one of the cheapest plastics out there. Why? Because it's junk.
So as consumers, what we can do is we can just refuse to purchase it. If you pick something up that's in styrofoam, make a statement and take the styrofoam container off of your product and leave it behind if possible. If I don't know, it's tough though, because we all go to restaurants, and even the fancy restaurants, when you want to take your leftovers home, they seem to bring you styrofoam, and what are you going to do? No, I'll carry it in my hand. So it's really something that we have to get together as a community and demand to
Well, it's the same thing, Trish. You can go to a restaurant where they don't use styrofoam. There is, we get in recycling these biodegradable things. They look like styrofoam, but they're actually some kind of blown cardboard. And it's such a well-made product. And I think it might be made out of recycled cardboard. However, they're totally clean and they're compostable. You just throw them in with your compost. They break down into nothing. There's other restaurants that use number 5 plastics for takeout that you can actually, when you get it home, you can eat your food and you can use the container for a long time as a reusable container. So those restaurants.
That's kind of off topic though, but I guess, yeah, the moral of this story is, as a consumer, yeah, go to restaurants that don't use those containers, and if you're purchasing a product that comes in some kind of styrofoam packaging, try to leave it at the store and tell them that you don't support it, and buy rechargeable batteries. Don't buy the less expensive throwaway batteries, because they are out there accumulating in our landfills, and eventually they're going to leak their alkaline insides into our water supply, and it's anybody's guess what the long-term consequence of all of those batteries out there would be. So as a consumer, choose to buy the recyclable batteries or the rechargeable batteries that we're talking about, because it's the future, and this stuff is important. Like, you think, oh, it doesn't make a difference, it's just a couple batteries I'm throwing around. But if you look around your community, and if every household is throwing out those couple batteries, like, you've got a stack like a story high in no time. So do you want to close us off here, Larry? It's the top of the hour, and I'm super tired, everybody. If you can't tell, I'm just yawning like crazy over here. Both of us are, so.
Yeah, sure. The whole thing that we've been talking about tonight has been the rechargeable batteries and how they've disrupted other technologies, and mainly the alkali battery business, as well as a lot has to do with the older technologies like lead acid. And so, yeah, that's about it. And like I said, it always comes back. It seems like almost everything we discuss in this on this platform, this Google Hangout or video chat, as it's also known as, is that it always seems to lead back to King Sunshine Solar Systems and other companies that have that. And our company is one of these companies that has disruptive technology that will soon be available on the market in a very unique way, so that it's going to be it's for the world. It's energy for the world, and we're just in the process of working out some bugs to bring it to market. And as I said, we use a rechargeable battery in our equipment right now. But on that note, I'm not sure what we're talking about tomorrow off the top of my head. I think, actually, I can take a quick look, but it's nice to let people know, I guess, in advance. Oh, yeah. If it's cool with Trish, I think we might be either talking about 3D printers, which are a new technology, or we're going to be talking about electric gadgets and how they've disrupted a lot of the old-fashioned games like checkers and sorry and that other one? Trouble.
So you mean like video games, electric gadgets? That I don't think that's a topic, but
Toys.
what you're talking about sounds like video games. But yeah, it's late where we are, and we both work today and are tired, and so yeah, we will continue with a new topic tomorrow, and yeah, we'll definitely be revisiting, I think, rechargeable batteries. Hopefully we can bring on somebody that knows a little bit more about it and might have some more insight as to where the technology is headed as it progresses and continues to disrupt existing technologies out there. So thanks so much, everybody, for watching, and go out there and make it a great night or day or morning or whatever, wherever you are in the world. And thanks so much for watching. And if I don't see you in the future, I will see you out in the pastures. That's where I'll be at 6 a.m. And I just want everybody out there to know that I believe that any of us can be, do, and have anything we want in this world, or we can have everything. And I choose everything, and I hope that you will too, because you can. So see you next time, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye, Larry.
Bye-bye. Bye.